Welcome to Real Deal. I'm Terra.
And I'm Jazelle.
And today we are talking about The Substance, the 2024 release directed by Qualley. If you follow the instructions, what could go wrong? A fading celebrity decides to use a black market drug, a cell-replicating substance that temporarily creates a younger, better version of herself. This movie stars Demi Moore, Margaret Qualley, Dennis Quaid, Edward Hamilton Clark, Gore Abrams, and Christina Erickson, to name a few. This is a really recent watch for Jazz and I. We literally just sat down to see this like a few days ago.
And 2 days ago.
Yeah, 2 days ago. It's pretty fresh in our minds. You guys, this movie was fucking freaky.
I loved this movie. I really don't have much to compare this movie to. But it was amazing. I gave it a 5 on Letterboxd. Tara, what did you give it?
I gave it a 4.5. I think if I had to tell people what to envision, this was like a Cronenbergian Freaky Friday. Like, death becomes her, kind of the same concepts as those movies. I think if I had to put a watch list together for people who want to see this, I would suggest something in that realm.
Yeah, and also, I feel like kind of Frankenstein-y.
Yeah, kind of Frankenstein-y. Yeah.
And you know what? I'll take the win. I loved this. This is like I love the resurgence of monster movies also.
Fucking freaky.
And this, I would say, is a monster movie.
Yeah. I love, I think, how on the nose this movie was when talking about being a woman, womanhood in celebrityhood, but also just being a woman in general.
And aging.
Ageism. How you are supposed to fear aging, how it's awful. It makes you just a fucking monster. You know, how you are supposed to loathe younger, better, powerful versions of you and younger women. And I just think it's so good.
Yeah, I do have to say, I really have no notes for this movie. I at first, I was like falling asleep a little, but listen, that's because I was going on like day 3 of building IKEA furniture with no sleep.
Right.
So that's a different conversation.
Right. I was sad.
That's my fault. We were sat with our Coke Oreos.
Disgusting.
Review the Coke.
A separate review.
Coke Oreos nasty as fuck.
Awful.
Anyways, but I would say Demi Moore's best.
Yeah. Absolutely.
She has never played a character more dynamic. No. And with very few lines, I think this movie really does a great job at expressing the emotion of Elizabeth Sparkle. Yeah. Which, loved the name.
Diving right into the heart of this movie, because I feel like the description that you read is it doesn't give you much, and I think that that's intentional. Basically, this movie is about a substance you inject that pretty much has a better version of you coming right out of the inside of you.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. And so now you have Demi Moore and you have Margaret Qualley, and they have a specific set of instructions that they have to follow. Each version gets to live for 7 days while the other one is asleep, and you have to follow those rules. And so we meet Demi Moore as Elizabeth Sparkle at pretty much the end of her career. She's washed. She's doing workout videos now for people to follow along to on their TV, and she pretty much gets canned in the beginning of the movie. And it's her 60th birthday, I think?
Yeah, something like that. Or
yeah,
50th,
something like that.
50.
It's sorry, Demi Moore, you look stunning, girl. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to get the age wrong. But
Demi Moore's work is so beautiful.
Yeah,
and I'm not talking about her filmography.
She looks no, she looks good as hell.
Yeah, she does look good as hell.
And I think that makes the tone of the movie even more tragic because she is, so self-deprecating and looks at herself and just hates it and admonishes herself, and she looks amazing.
Yeah, she literally
looks great.
There's a point in this movie where she sees someone that she knew from high school, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you look literally just as amazing as you did when you were like younger." And she was like, "Oh my gosh, thank you." And then they swap numbers, but she's so debilitated by her own self-hatred that she schedules this date with him to make herself feel good, and then cancels it because of the like self-loathing and dread that she feels because she hates the way that she looks, and she's comparing herself to the better version, like twin Sue that she has connected to her.
Yeah, I don't know. I just really loved how unique and fucking crazy balls to the wall this movie gets, because in the beginning it's very clear that Coralie has a specific tone that she's going for here. Very little dialogue.
Is it Coralie or Coralie?
Coralie? I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. But girl, you ate this one up. Very little dialogue, very specific shots. Everything feels so intentional. The sound design was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, I do agree.
If not disgusting many, many times.
The chewing, trigger warning. Body horror, trigger warning.
Yeah. If you're queasy, if you have a weak stomach, I do not recommend this film.
No.
Because it's going to be a tough watch for you. If you're not a body horror fan, which I typically am not, but I really loved this.
Yeah.
It was fucking freaky.
As a huge body horror fan and also a fan of gore, I loved it. I think it was really good.
Something for everyone.
Yeah, I
perhaps.
must say. Psychological thriller, body horror. It was giving... This feels like almost in the same world of as like a Yorgos film. Like, it's giving Kinds of Kindness.
I would say so. And I think her message is more deliberate than Yorgos is with his films, which I enjoy. I know Coralie's debut film, Revenge, is a take on misogyny and like male violence. And I think that this is such an interesting look inward with The Substance, where we're looking at womanhood. I just think that this movie was fucking killer. And so, I don't know, it just pulled so many punches. Like,
yeah.
Or pulls no punches?
It pulls no punches.
Pulls no punches.
It doesn't
My English
pull
teacher
any
would
punches.
be ashamed of me for that.
It's okay.
My bad.
Sorry, Mr. Roy.
I'm sorry, Mr. Roy. I'm sorry, Miss Kung. My bad.
But I really loved this movie. I'm so excited to go see my boyfriend. Go see this with my boyfriend.
Yeah, we're gonna take my boyfriend and I are gonna take his family to go see it because we want to watch the movie. Yeah. Because I think this is one of those kinds of movies. I think indie horror is so back. Like, yeah, I think that's such a refreshing thing that so many people, word of mouth has really been carrying this film. They had like a really great box office weekend. So
the Letterboxd rating is a 4.0. I mean, there's someone on I see in like one of the reviews that gave it a 3.5. I'm wondering what their 3.5 review was. Right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's take a look.
Let's see what it is. What it is that other people don't like. Where it guzzles rocket fuel and shoots itself into the great big sun that is... Okay, if this criticism is pretty much that it's so absurd that it dilutes a lot of the commentary, but I disagree.
I think it's necessary. I liked it. It's kind of like a fairy tale fable. I like how crazy it gets.
Yeah, I like how crazy it gets too. And it almost like anytime there's like a strongly messaged movie with like a fucking absurd ending, I always think of Tarantino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think it dilutes the message at all. I think that we should be allowed to get a little fucking crazy with our endings.
And it's just fun. Yeah. Sorry, can we have a little fun?
It is, yeah. Can we have a good time? Damn, like, my bad. Do we have to be serious? I think this is one of those movies where you need to go into this with an open mind. Mm-hmm. I don't think that viewing this movie in a literal sense is going to be any fun for you.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
There's so many points where you'd be like, what? That's not, they didn't even react, blah, blah, blah. Like, you have to leave that all behind and go with the story that she's trying to tell you.
Yeah.
And I think that you're going to have a better time watching this movie. Mm-hmm. I love how imaginative this was. I'm just a big fan. I like what it did.
And I wonder how, like, I haven't seen any interviews about this movie, but I wonder what made Demi Moore decide to do this project. I feel this is so outside of her wheelhouse and comfort zone and the things that she's been in that I'm so impressed by her and her performance. And it was so good. Like, her, as she is aging.
Maybe it was relatable to her.
I was going to say, I'm sure that being a woman in Hollywood feels I mean, that's literally what this is, you know? Yeah. But, like, I'm sure she can relate in so many ways. And I'd love to, like, watch an interview with her and talk about that.
I would, too. I would love to see her talk about it. I know Coralie said, or Qualley, I'm not sure. I know she was talking on Twitter the other day about how Elizabeth weaponizes her relationship with food because she knows that's something that would bother a younger version of her. You know, it bothers Sue so much.
Real.
Yeah. Damn. feeling a little too seen, I fear. It was interesting seeing the way that they got back at each other, you know?
Pipe down.
Elizabeth's worst fear just being regular fucking aging.
Yeah,
you know,
old.
having that being weaponized against her, and then Sue with her, you know, aversion to food and being unclean and untidy and having to look perfect, having her life look perfect. And, you know, when they're switching on and off, just seeing the ways that they're getting back at each other was really interesting.
Yeah, so this is definitely a must-watch. We saw this in a relatively small theater.
Yeah.
At
See
AMC.
this with a packed crowd, if you can.
And we saw this in a packed crowd.
Yeah,
and
it was
everyone
great.
seemed to like it.
Yeah, I think it's so funny. The last 20-30 minutes are fucking insane.
Yeah.
But they're also hilarious, so I think it's such a nice moment to share with other people.
Definitely.
Indie horror is fucking back, baby.
Truly.
Go see The Substance and let us know what you guys think of it, because we fucking loved it.
True.